So I think this is just one of those puzzles that's really nice to look at. With just has like a whole galaxy vibe to it. Uh, but the way this works is that there's one cut going down the middle, and you have these four rings of beads. And what's cool is that if you can twist it 180-degree turns to sort of mix up the beads. It's like you have the small ring and the big ring, and they're supposed to have their own their own little colors to them. It's like this one's supposed to be one color, this ring is supposed to be a color, and the same for the other two rings. But you don't have to just make 180-degree turns. If I make a quarter turn, that lines up the half of the big and small layers, and so now we get two independent rings. But instead of doing a quarter turn, I did a 1/8 turn. Now, every line of the big like the bigger circle is connected to a line of the smaller circle, which is connected to the next bigger, and so you get one continuous path. Like I'm only moving one beat at a time. Everything else is moving on the cube, which is just really pretty. But the way you approach the solve is, first thing you gotta recognize, there are overwhelmingly more purple and red beads than there are green and orange. So you can tell easily off the bat that the purple and red should be in the middle. So I think it would be best to just group up the purple and the red ones together, and we could do that by noticing that, well, we have a big chunk of purple and red over here, so if we actually just made a bigger chunk. I was going to move this chunk over, but that works too. Well, in fact, instead of looking at this in terms of the purple and red, we'll think of this in terms of orange and green. So how about we match these orange and greens together? So now we have this green, so if we move this out of the way and bring it back, now those are connected. Now those are connected. So we have one big orange and green thing over here, and we have some oranges over here. So let's move those. So let's bring this green one down here, move it out of the way, and then this orange one, let's bring that down here. So now we have just one whole band of purple and red, and then we have some yellow and green in here, or orange and green. Let's do the same thing on the top. So I will this would have to go here. Yep. And so now we only have one big chunk over here and one big chunk over here. And this part seemed to have gotten lost in the mix. So let's move this over here and undo that. So now this is preserved, and now what I want to do, I noticed that when you cut it in half, this is an easy way to just bring all of the yellows and blues from the smaller areas to the bigger ones. So I'll use that to my advantage. So first, I'm gonna actually split this in half, so one goes to each little section. So that way, when I cut this in half, this section will go over here, and this section of green or orange will go over here. So let's bring this over here, and bring this over here. So now all of these are one area, all of these are one area, and yep. Whoops, come on. All right, so now there's no orange and green on the top and bottom. Now, they're all in one place over here. So what I'm gonna split these in half, and let's see, if I do this, well, I'll only have some going in here and there. So if I do that over here, yep, now I could just do this move and this move. Oh, look at that, that's pretty. Now now they're in like their own sized rings, but we need to separate them amongst themselves. and moving layers independently while doing 180-degree slices. That sounds a lot like the square one that we covered. So I'll be doing, well, I won't be employing any specific algorithms, but the core concept is still there. So let's actually get this done. And instead of just, since all the beads are equal to each other, like it doesn't matter like if this bead is over here or this one, like so long as like they're just all the ones in the same color are just in the right area, then we should be fine. So in fact, since we have a big chunk of greens over here, I'll make this one the green ring. And so now if we use this to just clump up all of the other greens together, so let's bring those here, bring that here. Let's actually move this out of the way. Bring this up. It seems like something got misplaced. It's fine though, because when I bring these three down here, it'll make a group of 4. And since all of these are now orange, we know this is all green. And now we can just focus on the middle layer here. And what I'll focus on right now is just trying to clump up all the purples, or as many as I can. So that's one giant clump. We can bring these down here. We can bring these over here. Well, I think that's as many purples as we're gonna get. So now let's actually try to insert them in the middle and the back. So there's 3 over here. So if we rotate these, move these over. All right, now we just have 5 reds down here, which means we have 5 purples over here. So if I line these up, I'll move this over once. Now we have 4, 3, whoops, 2, 1, and oh, looks like we got a misplacement over here. All right, well, that is everything solved. Yeah, so everything's nice and organized now. So this isn't a very tricky puzzle, but just requires you to get a little creative. All right, thanks for watching.